kind of question are you asking me? If I lose, do I look like a loser tonight? When I am declared, you will smile.
Why the PNP keeps losing since Portia Simpson Miller. Jamaica's politics has always been defined by two giants, the Jamaica Labour Party and the People's National Party. For decades, power has shifted back and forth between them, with fierce loyalty on both sides. But in recent years, something has changed. The PNP, once a dominant force, has been stuck in a losing streak it just can't seem to break. The last time the PNP won an election was back in 2011, when Portia Simpson Miller led the party to victory. Since then, election after election has gone against them, while Andrew Holness and the JLP have tightened their grip on power. Today, the PNP finds itself in the unfamiliar position of being the longtime opposition, unable to turn back the tide. So what happened? Why has the PNP been unable to win back Jamaicans' trust? And can Mark Golding, the current leader, break the cycle, or is the PNP destined to remain in the shadows? Portia Simpson Miller's last victory. In December 2011, Portia Simpson Miller led the PNP to a landslide win, securing 42 out of 63 seats. Her victory was seen as a triumph of charisma and connection. Sister P was beloved by the grassroots, and she carried the party with energy and passion. For many Jamaicans, she represented a people's leader, someone who understood their struggles. But her time in office wasn't without challenges. The Jamaican economy was under pressure, and tough decisions about debt management and IMF agreements weakened her popularity. By the time the 2016 election came around, the glow of 2011 had faded, and the electorate was hungry for change. The JLP, led by a younger and more media-savvy Andrew Holness, seized the moment. The 2016 election was incredibly close, but the PNP lost power, and they haven't been able to take it back since.
The results of the general elections held yesterday, September 3rd, have been very unfavorable to the People's National Party. As in all undertakings such as this, the ultimate responsibility must rest with the leader of the party. Accordingly, I consider it my duty to demit office as president of the party.
The collapse of 2020. The 2020 election was a turning point and a disaster for the PNP. Under the leadership of Dr. Peter Phillips, the party suffered its worst defeat in history, winning only 14 seats out of 63. This wasn't just a loss, it was an embarrassment that shook the PNP to its core. Phillips had struggled to connect with younger voters, and the PNP's campaign lacked vision. Meanwhile, Holness projected strength and modern leadership, using social media effectively to reach Jamaicans who felt the PNP was stuck in the past. The contrast was stark. One party looked forward, the other looked like it was still fighting yesterday's battles. That crushing defeat forced a reckoning. Phillips stepped down, leaving the party divided and searching for a leader who could rebuild from the ashes. The battle for the future of the PNP had begun. Mark Golding's rise. In November 2020, Mark Golding emerged as the new leader of the PNP after a close contest with Lisa Hanna. Golding, a former justice minister and businessman, represented stability and unity. He won the leadership vote by fewer than 300 delegates, proving just how split the party was. Golding promised to rebuild the party, heal divisions, and restore trust with the Jamaican people. He presented himself as thoughtful, competent, and measured, a contrast to the fiery charisma of Portia Simpson Miller. But while Golding has kept the party steady, he has struggled to spark the kind of excitement needed to win over undecided voters. By the 2025 election, Golding had strengthened the PNP compared to 2020, winning 29 seats. But it wasn't enough. The JLP still held on to power, securing a historic third consecutive term. The PNP, despite progress, remained on the losing side. Why the PNP keeps losing? The PNP's struggles since 2011 boiled down to four main factors. First, leadership. From Phillips to Golding, the party has not had a leader with Portia's charisma and mass appeal. Second, branding. The JLP has successfully marketed itself as the party of economic growth, while the PNP is still weighed down by memories of the 1990s and the FinSAC era. Third, voter turnout has collapsed. Less than 40% of Jamaicans vote in general elections, and the PNP's traditional base, working class and inner-city communities, is less mobilized than before. Many of their supporters simply don't turn up to the polls anymore. Finally, the PNP has been plagued by internal divisions, with factional battles leaving scars that weaken unity and public trust. Put simply, while the JLP has projected stability and modernity, the PNP has often looked like a party still trying to find its footing. Until those dynamics change, the losing streak is likely to continue. The future of the PNP. The big question now is whether Mark Golding can reinvent the PNP before the next election cycle. His challenge is enormous. He must unify the party, inspire younger voters, and prove that the PNP offers something new and different from the JLP. Without a bold new vision, the party risks being seen as just the other option, and that's not enough to win. Some within the party argue that fresh faces like Lisa Hanna or other rising stars should be given more space to lead the next generation. Others believe Golding still has time to grow into the role, especially if he can sharpen the PNP's policies on jobs, corruption, and the cost of living. Whatever happens, one thing is clear: the PNP cannot rely on nostalgia for Portia Simpson Miller. If they want to win again, they need to reconnect with the Jamaican people in a way that feels fresh, relevant, and inspiring. Until then, Andrew Holness and the JLP will continue to dominate the political landscape. The People's National Party has not won an election since Portia Simpson Miller's 2011 triumph. 3 defeats later, the question is no longer just about policies. It's about identity, vision, and leadership. The JLP has captured the moment, while the PNP is still chasing its past. Mark Golding has steadied the ship, but the journey ahead is long and uncertain. Can he turn things around, or will history remember this era as the time when the PNP lost its way? One thing is certain: Jamaican politics is changing fast, and if the PNP doesn't change with it, they may be locked out of power for years to come.